Hello viewers, good morning. In this tutorial, I'm going to be approaching a theory selected question that is to help learners in secondary school, that is ICT, from S1 up to the S4 class, or even people outside there who could find this approach really helpful or beneficial. So the approach is under my folder theory approach, and the PDF I'm going to be using is right here. Okay, into the video, it's going to have a cover photo as displayed at your screen. The cover photo will be looking like that because the video is all about a letter that is to be followed by the assistant at Lincoln Technologies while assembling the 5 available desktop computers. Now, in this tutorial, I'm going to be uh, teaching or showcasing or explaining how one can, of course, assemble a desktop computer. Now, this is part of the topic in S1 class ICT, the topic computer hardware, where learners are taught how to assemble a computer. Uh, Learners can follow the video tutorial here to assemble a desktop computer in the lab with their teacher. This tutorial is so important to them, and it's also important to S4s, the candidates, through a question approach. So from S1 to S4, all classes could find this video so helpful. And before I even begin with the video, let me first open a reference I'm going to use as as something so helpful in the tutorial. So the reference is right here. This was the cover photo of UNEB last year, 2024, and one of the instructions, it was instruction number 4, that all responses should be presented in formal writing layouts. Now that means that if a learner is asked to present in any formal writing layout in this ICT paper, a learner should follow that formal layout when presenting their work. According to the video, I'm going to be um, following this instruction as it was provided by UNEP 2024, that all responses should be presented in formal writing layouts. If a learner is told to present a report, they should present their responses in form of a report. If a learner is told to present a letter, they should present all their responses in form of a letter. It could be a write up, it could be an article, whatever etc. So a learner should know the formal writing layouts of all those documents that could be asked. Okay, my PDF that I'm going to be using in this tutorial. This is a theory video tutorial, more video tutorials at my channel, and this is also one of them. Scenario. The scenario is here. In a certain computer training center, that is Lincoln Technologies, the individuals in charge have received at least 5 desktop DELL computers to help them in their day-to-day activities they are to do, like printing, scanning, training, among others. The individuals in charge are not currently available at the station, and the 5 desktop computers have been brought. As their assistant, you have been tasked to help in assembling these computers, but you are to do this with 3 friends of yours around. Task: design a letter document to be followed by you and your friends while assembling the desktop computers currently available. Now, according to what I've just explained, in the UNEP paper last year, 2024, at the instruction I've just pointed out, a learner is supposed to present their responses in line with the formal document required. Now, in this case, a letter document is required. So, a learner is supposed to present their responses in form of a letter, as I want to display in the points below. And of course, just like in a scenario, there's an issue or a problem at hand, and the problem at hand is the two individuals that are in charge of this center calling technologies are not around, and it's you, the assistant, who's around to help in receiving and connecting the five desktop Dell computers. But you have your three friends with you that can help you do it, and of course, you can do it with them after designing a letter to be followed by you and them to assemble the desktop computer. Okay, my approach. Now, this is the approach. A letter format is required according to the task, and of course, I'm designing a letter format on top where I put addresses. The address is for the the center or the station Lincoln Technologies, PO Box, Kampala, and the date the letter was designed. To whom? To the assistants of Lincoln Technologies, PO Box is there, Kampala, then reference. The steps to be followed by the assistants while assembling the desktop computers. This is working as our heading. And of course, my document is a formal letter format because it is what was asked in the task, a letter document format. So learner should present a document format, at least in their approach, not forgetting what is always required out of them in an ICT theory paper, like headings, problem statements, introductions, body, and conclusion, as stated in the document I'm going to be presenting below. So the heading is already there, that the steps to be followed by the assistant while assembling the desktop computers. Correct. Of course, this is checked. This is the heading, and of course, it's right. Now even the addresses are right here. Then the heading, then the problem statement is here that the other assistants helping me are not sure of the steps to be followed when assembling the desktop computers. Yes, the other assistants that are helping me are not sure of the steps to be followed when assembling the desktop computers. Now, according to the scenario, I'm the assistant of the two people. I'm their assistant. I'm the assistant of the individuals in charge of the place Lincoln Technologies. I could know what to do, but I'm having my three friends that may not be sure of what to do. Or if they are sure of what to do, we need a guide to help us do the assembling of the desktop computers. And the guide, of course, is supposed to be through a letter document format. A problem statement is not static, it could change, and a title is also not static, it could change according to a learner's creativity. And this is my problem statement, that the other assistants helping me are not sure of the steps to be followed when assembling the desktop computer. Then this could work as an introduction that a computer is an electronic programmable device that inputs data, processes it, and stores it, then outputs it as information. The following are the steps to be followed when assembling a desktop computer. Now, a learner can write a small heading introduction if they want, or they can just write the introduction as I've done here. Now, this is an example of a desktop computer. This one here, it's an example of a desktop computer where there's a monitor connected to a systems unit, of course, functioning. That is a desktop computer. Then the steps of connecting a desktop computer are explained below. Of course, if mentioning a point, it should be in form of a paragraph. Not forgetting we are still in the letter format, and we are mentioning a point. but in form of a paragraph, because it is required in an ICT theory paper. You should work in paragraphs within your body. Of course, a body is following an introduction and a problem statement, and of course a heading, not forgetting the letter format that is required in this number particularly. Points. Ensure all computer devices are available. Correct. That is a point statement. That is right. The assistants will need to be having all components to be connected available. For example, we should have a monitor, systems in it, VGA cable, and two power supply cables, keyboards, mouse to be connected very well in their respective ports. And a computer port is just an opening on either the systems unit or the monitor that allows connection of an ICT tool. Now the first point is, this is just the explanation after the point statement here. The first point is we should have all devices we need. They should be available. It's the first point followed when assembling a computer. Ensure that you have all the devices. First check whether you have all of them as I've mentioned them in the explanation. And there is a small image here of a monitor, the systems in it, some of the devices I could have available. Point 2. Now, for questions that are having points that are flowing in order, you should follow the order, or even outside there, if you're connecting a desktop, of course you should follow the order to do this successfully. Point 2. Locate the VGA cable. Full stop. Continue. Of course, you've mentioned a point, that is right, and then you're explaining the point. Ensure that you have the VGA cable, in brackets, video graphics array. The VGA, which is video graphics array, is a blue cable that is responsible for the display of the content, i.e., the videos and images that are to be displayed on the monitor. One end of the VGA is put in the VGA port at the back of the systems unit, and the other end of the VGA cable is put in the VGA port at the back of the monitor. The screws are then hand tightened so as to prevent loose connections. The VGA cable is normally blue in color as displayed below. Now the VGA is blue in color and it's here. It's having two ends. One end is here and another end is here. Of course, when connecting the VGA cable, go at the back of the systems unit. If you look at my image here, there is this port, this one here, a VGA port. You connect one end of the VGA here, and another end of the VGA at the back of your monitor or your screen here. And you can hand tighten there areas here where a screw can go, these small ports where a screw can go. You hand tighten the VGA to avoid loose connections. So that is the second point. It is to do with the VGA as explained in the point and in the images below. 3. You mention a point, connection of other devices to the systems unit. That is right. You connect other devices to the systems unit. Then you explain the assistants are therefore encouraged. The assistants are the people that you're working with, plus you, because you're following this document to connect a desktop computer at the Lincoln Enterprises Training Center. The assistants are therefore encouraged to connect other devices available like a mouse, keyboard, printer, and so on. These are connected to the systems unit. Make sure that the devices stated above are connected to the right ports, either at the back or front of the systems unit. For example, a mouse and keyboard connected to the USB port at the back of the systems unit, and the printer, if available, is also connected with its cable to the computer and then you can connect it to the extension or power source by use of its power cable. Now this point is just to do with connecting other devices like a keyboard here, like a mouse here. If you even have a speaker, you can connect it. I've just mentioned the printer. If you have a printer, you can also connect it. So the point is about connecting the other devices to the systems in it. You see, your points are flowing from ensuring that all computer devices are available, VGA, then connect other devices as displayed. Then another point is locate and make use of the power cables. Mention a point. Make a point clear. Mention a point in form of a paragraph, of course. Make it clear that locate or make use. There's a slight mistake here. I forgot something here. Like locate and make use of the power cables. Now these cables will help in the transfer of power in brackets electricity to the computer system. The monitor to the computer system. Sorry, the first power cable is plugged into the ports into one of the ports at the back of the monitor, and another power cable is connected to the back of the system's unit, and then the two are plugged in two wall sockets properly. Now, if you have wall sockets, you can plug them there. If you don't have, next point is so important. So you connect the two at the wall sockets properly. Here, the assistants can use other power sources rather than the wall sockets. That could be the most common as explained below. Now, if you have your wall socket, you can connect. Of course, these are the power cables. Examples of power cables are here. You connect the power cables to the one power cable can go to the back of the monitor like this. The another one can go to the back of the systems unit. And then you connect them to the wall sockets if you have a wall socket. But it's kind of risky because of power issues. So this is my explanation. And of course, after dealing with the power cables, if you have a UPS or if you have a stabilizer, it could be so important as a point. Now the point is locate the UPS or a stabilizer if available. Point statement so important and the explanation. Now UPS stands for uninterruptible power supply. This keeps power for some time, and in case of a power outage, it provides one with prior time to save and shut down the computer in an appropriate way. Works like that. It's going to keep some power, and then in case power is off, your computer doesn't also go off immediately. It's going to remain on so that you get prior time to save and shut down your computer in an appropriate way to avoid, of course, uh, computer problems or computer power related problems. Now, UPS, how is it connected? It supports an extension. You see, this man is trying to connect the image here of the UPS. This is the UPS, the black structure here is the UPS, but the man is trying to connect something at the back of the UPS. One port is here, another port is here, then another port is here. You can connect your extension here, and then you connect your computers to that extension. Of course, the UPS is connected to the power source. It's better for the UPS to be connected to the power source, and then you connect your extension at the back of the UPS so that your computers don't experience power issues. I was here. This supports an extension where user has already connected their devices. This device can be connected to the wall socket to support powering on of competing devices through the extension connected to it. It's what I was saying, that the UPS is going to be connected to the wall socket. That is better rather than connecting the computers straight to the wall socket, which could be kind of risky. You can connect the UPS to the wall socket, and then you bring the extension and then connect it to the back of the UPS, like here. put your extension to the back of the UPS and connect your devices you're having, like a monitor, like a systems in it, like a printer, etc. etc. Goes back to the capabilities of the UPS. Some UPS can support a lot of devices and some can support a few devices. Now, on the other hand, the stabilizer can also be used and it regulates the amount of power supplied to the computer to prevent short circuiting and other power issues through only regulating power. It can also be used to power on already connected computing devices through an extension that can also be connected to it. Correct. If you don't have a UPS, you can use a stabilizer. This is an example of a stabilizer. It can also be connected to power. It can have a cable that can be connected to power. Yes. And after it powering on, um, it's also having these ports where you can connect your extension. Of course, you can connect your extension there and put your computing devices at the extension so that it can help you just regulate. It's having that switch where you switch it on from, and a gauge to show you some power explanations you may need while working with it. So it's going to regulate. It regulates power that flows to your computers to also avoid power issues. Now, having followed all the points I've been explaining from the top, of course, this point, the question is having points flowing. So, questions having points that are flowing to learners in school ensure that your points are just in order, that chronological order. Of course, you can't talk about UPS and stabilizer as the first point. You're going to be wrong. Even in the outside world, if you're connecting your computer desktop and then you start with connecting the power cables, that is not right. You're going to create power issues. So you follow the order of connecting your computer desktop. In conclusion, therefore, the different steps noted in their order must be followed to have a well-functioning desktop and ready to be used by the user. The steps should be followed carefully to avoid different problems with connecting a desktop computer. So that's a conclusion, it's also important. And of course, I've been using a letter format that yours faithfully. You can put your signature there and of course the name of this candidate who is attempting the question. Now that is it with the question I wanted to share with you. It's important at all level classes ICT are connecting a desktop computer, and it's also important to someone outside there who is trying to connect a desktop computer if you have no knowledge about connecting it. And it's a theory video tutorial that's now available on my channel as the 102nd video at my YouTube channel. Now, I'm not saying that this is the complete and right thing. Now, this is an eye opener to you who's trying to attempt a question that is like this. This is my scenario. A question like that. The approach I've been doing, the format of a letter, the title, the problem statement, the introduction, the points that are flowing in order. That's an eye opener to you who is trying to do that question. That is what I wanted to share with you, the viewers at my channel. Feel free to interact with the videos that are available at my channel. There are now over 100 videos. Feel free to interact with all the videos, and thanks for the view at this very tutorial. A nice time. Bye bye.